Hey everybody, my name is Greasy Coyote, and today I'm starting my first ever YouTube series. It's going to be a series following me on my journey from Diamond all the way to Grandmaster. I think the best way for me to start this series is by simply introducing myself. So hi, I'm Greasy Coyote, this is me, this is who I am. I'm 22 years old, I play on the North American servers, I play Terran through and through. I've played video games my whole life, ever since I was like 3 years old and I could pick up a controller. I've been playing video games. I'll talk a little bit about my online gaming past. I started with Halo 2 and Halo 3, or what really got me into the online gaming. Um, I think the highest ranking I ever achieved in Halo 3 was a 45, and then I wouldn't say kinda, I completely got into World of Warcraft. I played that game for a couple years, and I actually had like over a year's worth of game time accumulated on one account. It was pretty sad and awesome at the same time. I think during that year, I was mainly in my underpants and away from girls. So eventually I managed to break that and start talking to girls again, so that was pretty good, pretty healthy for me as a person. Um, I think my biggest achievement in World of Warcraft was when my guild killed Lich King 25-man heroic mode. I was an Orc Warlock on the Duskwood server in a guild called Shai Halud, and when we killed that, that was a pretty huge moment in my gaming past that I think is worth sharing with you guys. After that, I played League of Legends. I think the highest I got in League of Legends was Platinum Division 4, and I played League of Legends almost as much as I did World of Warcraft. I played a ton. I think I had like over 2,000 games won, so probably around 4,000 games in total in League of Legends. So as you guys can see, I play games like all the time. It's what I do. But actually recently I gave up video gaming for like 6 months. I didn't like completely go cold turkey, give it up, but I hiked the Appalachian Trail. And for those of you guys who don't know what the Appalachian Trail is, it's a foot trail going through the Appalachian Mountains along the east coast of the United States. It starts in Georgia and it ends in Maine, and it's roughly 2,200 miles. So I went backpacking for 7 months on this awesome adventure outside and completely away from my computer, just to kind of see, am I really a gamer, or is this just the lifestyle that I've kind of just gotten stuck into? But when I was out there, I realized, yeah, I really am a gamer. I love video games. That's just a part of me, and that's never going to change. So when I came back, I said, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. I'm going to try and make a career out of it if I can. I'm going to give it my best shot and see how far I can get into this. And a little bit more about the Appalachian Trail. One thing that it taught me that's really going to be apparent in this series and in my career as a whole is that if I set my mind to something, I can achieve it. When I was in high school and kind of all the way up until I was like 20 or so, I used to quit a lot, and it just, when something got tough or something got hard, I would just give up. And when I went and I did the trail, there's a lot of times where I wanted to give up, but I always stuck it out until the end. Not necessarily because I'm strong as a person, but I had a lot of support to help me out along the way as well. So the important thing is I managed to stick it out until the end, and that has shown me what I can accomplish as a person. And that's going to be huge in my StarCraft career, because it's not going to be easy whatsoever. But I'm going to give it my all, and I think I'll be able to make something of it. So now that I've told you guys a little bit about me and a little bit of background, I'm actually going to go into StarCrafting and show you a little bit about my StarCraft persona. So here you guys can see Greasy Coyote, that is my account. If we go into matchmaking, I am currently rank 5 diamond. This is the highest I've ever been. And if we look, I have almost 5,000 games played. I'll hit that fat number here in the next few days. And if we look at my ladders and my career summary, we can see in Wings of Liberty, in 2010, I finished my first ranked season in bronze, so I did start in bronze. Then I made it into silver and stayed in silver for it looks like up to 2 years here, just playing in silver, bashing my head against the wall, and just doing my own thing and never really improving. So that was a good 2 years of playing that I just never improved as a player. Let's see. And then if we go into Heart of the Swarm and we go into 1v1, we can see I finally got into gold in 2013, Season 5, so almost 2014. I finally managed to get gold. Quickly went back into silver, and then I went back and forth for a little bit. And in 2014, Season 2, I managed to get platinum. Dropped back into gold, but the last 2 seasons that I've played have both been platinum. And currently I am Patch Diamond. So thank you, Patch. Finally getting that diamond, finally breaking platinum. Feels good, and I'm ready to keep climbing that ladder. So now I've kind of established, my career and where I've been. You guys see I've never been Masters, I've never been Grandmasters. I'm starting from the bottom and I'm climbing all the way to the top. And I think that's important for documentation, so when I finally do get to the top, I can come back and look and show you guys, yeah, this is the climb, I made it, and you guys can see how I did it and hopefully follow that process. Another quick thing I wanted to look at is just my statistics. So we have these documented. My overall win-loss is at 51%. My TVZ is at 44%, being my worst matchup. My TVT is at 56%, being my best matchup. And my TVP is at 55%, being just under my TVT. So now that we've seen my StarCraft account and everybody sees, where I'm at as a player, I'm going to talk a little bit about this YouTube series that I'm trying to make. And while I'm talking about the YouTube series, I'm going to have a replay going in the background just so you guys have something to watch and it's not too boring. I don't want to bore you guys. I want you guys to be entertained and I want you guys to be learning while this is all going on. So I'm just going to let this run in the background. I'm going to have player camera on, and I'm going to talk about my series now. Oop, don't want to do that. Okay, I think everything should be good now. Okay, I want this series to be educational and helpful for players looking to improve. There are a lot of Bronze to Master series already out there, but I feel like there's a serious gap in the higher leagues where it becomes more difficult and more complicated, and you don't always know where to look to improve as a player. Because it's really easy, when you're trying to get from silver to gold, and the only thing you have to learn is how to make SEVs and not get supply block. But later on, it becomes a lot more complicated. There's a lot more strategy and just a lot more mechanics involved that you have to improve upon. And it can be very difficult. You can easily hit a plateau and just get frustrated and give up. But, learning how to break that plateau is very important. And so that's kind of what this series is going to be showing, is how I keep improving, how I break the plateaus, how I learn, and all sorts of things. And you guys will be able to follow that and maybe implement it into your own play. When you hit that plateau, you can go and look and say, oh, this is how Greasy Coyote dealt with this. Maybe it will work for me. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I strategize as a player. I have my own play style. I always play a macro-oriented game, except for this one. This one I wanted to work on my micro a little bit. I hardly ever cheese, but I have been having issues lately with my control. It's one of my biggest weaknesses. So I was playing a lot of 2 racks games just to work on my micro and work on my control and see if I can improve it. But yeah, normally I play a macro game. I Reaper Fast Expand in every matchup. And then I go into we'll talk about the build orders later in another video. But yeah, I always play a macro style. I have my own play styles after the fast expand. I would say the only generic play style I have is probably my TBT, where I'll go into Marine Tank Medevac. Other than that, you know, I try and make it unique. I try and make it fun, and I try and find something that I enjoy. And I think that's very important to have your own play style, because there's a lot of different situations in StarCraft, and if you have your own play style, whenever you run into that situation, you can learn what to do in your build and what to do in your style to handle that situation. Whereas if you're just copying somebody else's play style, you may see one or two matches of their play style, but you don't get to see all the different reactions they have to each build, or you know, each strategy that they have to deal with. Say like, you know, you play Hellion Banshee that you saw Maru play once, or you saw Fantasy play once, and you saw him, you know, execute it very well against, you know, early Speedlings or early Banelings, but you never saw a video where he had to deal with an early Roach push. So you don't know how to deal with that, and having your own style will allow you to learn how to deal with that. And so whenever you do run into an early Roach push, you can always, you know, you can figure out a way to deal with it, and then you can always reenact that. So that's kind of how I strategize. The next thing I'm going to be talking about in my series is, you know, having, or how I improve. Improving is very important. If you're not improving, then you know, you're playing a game. But yeah, I'm always trying to improve, and I'm going to actually pause it really quick because I just want to show you guys one really important thing. And if I can hit the right button, there it is. Okay, this is my notebook I just started. I take lots of notes. I do one note segment each day, so I always have something written down for the day. And this is just a documentation of, you know, my current status in the game and what's currently affecting me. So I can always come back and look at it and be like, oh, this is where I was a month ago. So I know that I'm actually improving. Because if you're just playing the game over and over and over again, you might be improving, but you don't necessarily realize that you are. Whereas if you're copying down, you know, your benchmarks and stuff about your play, like, you know, you copy down a build order and say, it takes me this long to max out with this build order, and then you do it in a month from now when your mechanics have improved, and you say, oh, I did it 30 seconds faster. And then you know, yeah, that's serious improvement. So that was, anyways, I wanted to cover that really quick to talk about my improvement, and we'll go back into the replay. Oh, there it goes. Cool. Another thing I want to talk about in this series is how I train. There's a couple different things I used to train, but just quickly, I use stuff like aim booster, multitask trainers, micro macro trainers. I use all those to train because it's very important. You know, you can play. Yeah, probably playing ladder games or unranked games is probably the best way to train, but it's not the only way to train, and there's lots of specific things that you might have to work on that you can't always get in ladder. And then the last thing I'm probably going to, or not the last thing, but one of the other things I was going to talk about in this series is how I learn. Because there's lots of different ways to learn, but, you know, watching Koreans, watching streamers, watching VODs, watching replays, and more important than all those is just experimenting. Just going into the game and trying something and seeing if it works, and if it doesn't work, and seeing why or why not. And I think overall this is just going to show how I grow as a player. You know, just covering all these aspects, you guys will definitely see the growth, and maybe you can implement it and grow as well. Because that's really the goal here, is for me to grow and to show you guys how to grow in case you don't know how. If you guys do know how, that's great. I just want to help the people who don't. So yeah, that's what this series is going to be all about. I'm just going to try and... Sorry, let me get out of this replay really quick. Okay, cool. yeah, but that's what the series is going to be about. I'm going to try and upload a video once a week, preferably every Sunday, but I'm not going to limit myself to that. You know, I might do 2 videos one week, or I might go a week without a video. I can't set anything in stone. This is all very new to me. While I play a lot of video games, I don't record a lot of video games, as you can probably tell from the quality of this one. I'm trying my best, you guys. I'll definitely get better at this series as I go along. But yeah, I'm planning on doing 1 video a week. The content yet is in no specific order, but it's going to be over the things I just previously mentioned. Probably start off with, you know, probably start off with build deviations or something. I don't know yet. I'll figure something out and I'll let you guys know. And then I'll probably be uploading these, or I'll upload all these to YouTube, and then I'll be posting these probably on All Things Terran and the StarCraft subreddits. And then I'll probably make my own Twitter account so you guys can follow me if you're interested in knowing when I upload a video. I don't have any of that set up quite yet. No Twitter. Actually, I think I did make a Twitter, but I'll try and link all that with the video so you guys can follow me if you're interested in this series. But I'll be uploading the content regardless. So in case you don't want to follow me this week, and maybe a few weeks down the road when there's some more content and you guys start to see how this series develops and what it becomes, and if you start to enjoy it, you can follow me then. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm going to cover everything, or I'm just going to recap everything really quick, just a brief summary, and then I'm going to call it a day. So yeah, we mentioned, I introduced myself, and then I showed you guys my StarCraft persona, you know, how I started in bronze and how I just got to masters, or how I just got to diamond and where I'm at, and I showed you guys my statistics and everything. And then I covered what this YouTube series is going to be about, showing you guys how I strategize, how I improve, how I train, and how I learn and how I grow as a player, and then passing that information along to you guys so you guys can also break through those plateaus. I think that's everything. I just had a recap to make sure I got it all, and I think we're good. So I really appreciate you guys. If you guys have made it this far into the video, you guys are awesome. Thanks for sticking it out, and hopefully you guys will enjoy my future videos.